Hello everyone, it's Tail Talk Sports. Today we're gonna be doing fantasy football trust or bust. I'm using fantasy football calculator. There's ESPN fantasy, which I'm doing my fantasy football on, but I think this is it's a calculator, so I think this is the most accurate. I'm gonna be saying if I trust their ADP, which is where I see where they're projected to go, or if I don't really trust, or if I think it's a bust. And there's going to be a lot which aren't trust or bust, which they'll be in between. So I'm going to be doing about the top, 10, 12, and then I'm going to be doing ones I like, trust or bust. So start with Jonathan Taylor. I trust this pick. I don't I don't love it. I don't hate it. I think I would take McCaffrey one, or maybe even Justin Jefferson, but it's not a bad pick at all. McCaffrey, trust McCaffrey. Trust. He's too good to pass up on, even though the injury concerns, too good to pass up on. And I think if you have him at one, you pick him. Two, you take him. I think he's the best person in fantasy. But it is a risk, but I think it's the risk you're willing to take. Austin Eckler at three. Surprisingly, at three, I think it's a bust. I just think there'll be a pass heavy offense. I know he might get a lot of short passes and dumps offs, but at three with people like Jefferson on the board, even Derrick Henry, Jamar Chase. I don't. I still like it, but at three, I think it's a bust. Derrick Henry, trust. Derrick Henry. Some of them, I'm just gonna say trust. No explanation. It's Derrick Henry. There is some injury concerns, but you have to pick him at four if he's there. Justin Jefferson, trust. Top three player in fantasy. Other than just Jonathan Taylor and McCaffrey, I'm not taking anyone over Jefferson. Trust. Cooper Cup at six. I'm gonna have to say trust, but Matthew Stafford's arm, it's a little scary. I'm gonna say in the middle one, not trust or bust. Najee Harris, bust. No, that's crazy. He was just a rookie last year. It's not because he's bad. I think he's a great player. It's just I don't think he's gonna get as many Big Ben dump offs. And I had him last year, and he wasn't bad, but he wasn't phenomenal. And I don't trust their offensive line at all, and I don't trust their offense at all. So I'm gonna say bust. Dalvin Cook, I'm gonna say bust. I just traded Dalvin Cook for Jamar. Dalvin Cook and Brandon Cooks for Jamar, so leave that if it's a good trade. Um, I think they'll pass. I think there'll be a pass heavy offense. He's getting older. I think they'll maybe split the carries with Madison, so that's why I'm saying bust. Jamar Chase, trust. Top five player in fantasy. Has the connection with Burrow. You have to pick Jamar Chase. He's a trust. Top five player. I would take him as early as 4 or 5. So trust. Joe Mixon, bust at 10. I don't know. I just every year he had a pretty good year last year, but their pass heavy offense, throw line's questionable. I think Joe Burrow will spam it to Jamar and T Higgins. So I don't know about Joe Mixon. Alvin Kamara, if he doesn't go to jail, trust. If he goes to jail, bust. So yeah. DeAndre Swift bust. A lot of people I've seen hyping up at 12. I don't trust it. Um, he's on the Lions. They do have a good O line, but I don't know. I just think the Lions aren't that good, so they'll have to, hand it off to him a lot. So he won't be getting, as many lanes. And then they have Jamal Williams, so I think we'll get a lot of workload. Devontae Williams at 13. Trust. He's the best receiver in the league, other than Justin Jefferson. So trust because he's that good. And Carr will give him the ball a lot. Stephon Diggs at 14. Trust. I had him last year. He wasn't that good, but at the worst, he'll be a solid 16, 17 a game. Aaron Jones, bust. Um, I was thinking about this because I do think without Devontae, he might get a lot of drop offs. But AJ Dillon, I think, will get most of the red zone touches. I think he'll probably get most of the touches in general. And just ending last year, he wasn't very good. So I think he'll be okay. But at 15, early second round pick, I don't know about that. Kelsey, trust. With Tyreek leaving, trust. I don't have to explain that. Saquon, trust. He's Saquon Barkley's too good. He can catch, he can get touchdowns. His O line's bad, his quarterback's bad, but Saquon's very good. Trust Saquon Barkley. Trust. Nick Chubb, bust. at 18, just because he's at 18. I don't know if I'd pick him as early as 18, just because he doesn't get too many catches with Kareem Hunt, and the team's gonna be bad. So he would have to just go insane, get a bunch of touchdowns, because he can get like 150 yards and only get like 16 points. That's just how he plays. CeeDee Lamb at 19. Bust. No, I'm just going in the middle. He'll get a lot more targets, but at 19, that's like, I think that's his ceiling. So yeah. Debo at 20, trust. ESPN, I think he's 11. And that's a little high, but 20, that's really good value. Javonte Williams, bold, cold take, but I'm saying bust. At actually 20, early second or early third, I'm still saying bust just because they have Melvin Gordon. They have Russell Wilson, who's can run. He's a little older, so he won't run as much, but I don't know if. I think Melvin Gordon's going to play a lot more than people think. Josh Allen at 22. Well, it's Josh Allen, so he's going to be good, but I wouldn't take him at 22. That's way too high. You can get people way later like Kyler Murray, Herbert, Mahomes. 22 is too high. Fournette, bust. He's kind of an old running back. He's just they have other running backs, Giovanni Bernard, and then they're a pass-heavy offense, I think, with Mike Evans if Godwin's back, and then they have Julio, Russell Gage. 23 is a little too high. 24, trust. That's super good value for Tyreek Hill. I think he's 17 for ESPN. I know Tua's not, not the best, but I think Tyreek's too good. He'll get the ball. 25 for Pittman. Trust. Pittman just got Matt Ryan. He's the wide receiver 1. They have a good O-line. That's very good value. Mike Evans, 26, trust. With Godwin maybe being out and Antonio Brown leaving, he'll probably be Tom Brady's number 1 weapon, and Gronk's out. Yeah, that's trust. That's a trust. Ezekiel Elliott, bust. Tony Pollard, just he's gonna get too many carries and the passes. Elliott might get some touchdowns, but he's not what he used to be. Mark Andrews, 28, trust. Very good tight end. I think tight ends are valuable because there's only about 4, so trust. James Conner, bust. He was really good last year, but I don't know. He had a bunch of touchdowns. I don't think he'll be as good. He had a breakout year, and now his ADP is really high. I don't know if I'd pick him. Keenan Allen, trust. One of the most trustable people in fantasy football. So now I'm just going to be saying players who I like, who I really like, or who I really don't like. I'm not going to do a bunch of in the middles. Kyle Pitts, really like, really trust. Cam Akers, huge bust. ETN, huge trust. J.K. Dobbins, huge bust. Breece Hall, I heard he's like 3rd on the depth chart, bust. I wouldn't choose him, especially who's behind him. That's pretty good. I guess there's no one really behind him. Kareem Hunt's really low. I don't know where he's at right here, but I trust Kareem Hunt because he can catch, and with a bad quarterback, they'll dump it off to him. Who do I really trust back here, or really like? James Cook, trust. They don't really have a running back. DeAndre Hopkins, really trust. He'll miss about 6 weeks, or he will miss 6 weeks. And at 100 or 99, he's 100, I think 6 on ESPN. Great value. You need to get DeAndre Hopkins. So like, subscribe, comment, and I just had a fantasy draft. So tell me if you guys want to see it, and I'll see y'all soon. Bye.